યુનાઇટેડ નેશન્સે સુસાઇડ પ્રિવેન્શન ડે તરીકે જાહેર કરેલો છે. એટલે આજનો દિવસ અમે આ કામ માટે પસંદ કર્યો. અને આ રીતે આજે અમે અહીંયા લોન્ચ કરવા જઈએ છીએ ને ઓનરેબલ મિનિસ્ટર શ્રી એના અંગે અમે અમારી વિનંતીથી અત્યારે પધારેલ છે અને એમના હસ્તે અમે આ કાર્ય કરવા માગીએ છીએ અને ઈચ્છીએ કે આ સંસ્થા અમે અહીં શરૂ કર્યા પછી એમ કહેવાય છે કે વડોદરાના ન્યૂઝપેપરોમાં દરરોજે દરરોજ એક કરતાં લગભગ દરરોજ એક કરતાં વધારે સમાચારો આપઘાતના હોય છે. અને તેના નિવારણ માટે અમે ઈચ્છીએ કે આ સંસ્થા અમે શરૂ કરી, આ પ્રોજેક્ટ શરૂ કર્યા પછી વડોદરામાં તે સમાચારો ધીમે ધીમે નહિવત અથવા તો બંધ થઈ જાય એવી પ્રભુને પ્રાર્થના કરીએ. અને આજનો દિવસ તે અંગેનો છે અને આપ સૌ અત્રે પધાર્યા તે બદલ હું જસ્ટિસ ઓન ટ્રાયલના ચેરમેન તરીકે માનનીય મહેમાન શ્રી ભૂપેન્દ્રસિંહ ચુડાસમા સાહેબનો અને આપ સૌનો આભાર માનું છું. જય હિન્દ.
Thank you very much, sir. My humble request to all the press and media persons to kindly remain present till the seminar gets over. Shri Bhupendra Shri Chudasma, Shri S.M. Soni and Dr. Yogesh Patel will address the press conference, which will be followed by refreshment. Now, without taking much time in all rituals, let us now start straight on today's subject. I request Dr. Yogesh Patel to kindly address and share his views. Sir,
to begin with, let us not get into statistics much, so we'll run fast. We all know that suicides are occurring increasingly globally. The Lancet, this was published in 2010, but there was never a collaborative study done in India, and how these facts have come up, I don't agree, or not the collaborative members who united to report, probably something went wrong. So India is not a suicidal capital, no. Things did change. Between 2010, 2014 and 2014, next please, 2014, WHO itself reported a collaborative study whereby it was reported that 250,000 people in India had committed suicide. And why was that suicide rate high? Because suicide rates were higher in the southern states. Tamil Nadu was highest in the suicide rates as compared to the western part of the state and the other states. So it's not that grave a situation in Gujarat, or it's not grave a situation in Baroda or Ahmedabad or any other place. But what I want to emphasize is that we don't want what is happening elsewhere in the world and then work on it, because we believe in primary prevention. And we don't have enough mental health professionals. We do not have so many mental health professionals. So we should know that we have to train ordinary people to make positive difference in people's life. And that is how the concept of Sadhyaro came. Because, like see, we have tried various schemes. How have we been able to bring down maternal mortality rate? How we have been able to bring child mortality rate? It is with the village health workers. It is with the community health workers. So, with very few mental health professions, we don't want to burden the government with cost. It's the collective responsibility of all of us. And we as the intellectuals, we should take the initiative. And we should train people, ordinary people, who can spend one day in a month to make a difference, positive difference in somebody's life. And that is how we started working on this project. Because there is a guideline and instruction, a strict instruction from World Health Organization that globally all countries who are part of WHO has to bring down their suicide rates 10 per 1 lakh population. Sir, this is very important. We are in 2016 and we have only 4 years to work upon. So, this is not a suicide helpline, but we are developing a suicide prevention program. It's not a hotline. Mind you, my dear friends, it's not a hotline. Next. It's not a hotline. It's a line for people to help them who has any time had a suicidal ideation. Put the slide of suicidal ideation. No, this, statistics are over. I don't want to talk more on statistics. I don't want to scare people. I don't believe in that. No. Straight to, no, I don't want this. That's it. What happens is, usually, tell me, all of us have time. At some time, the perception of ourselves and perception of the society in us keeps on changing. Someday, we feel very low about ourselves. We are very small. And other days, what happens is we are big. Someday, we feel India is a very good country. And some days, we feel that this is not a better place to stay. So, perception is like a bubble. Sometimes, we feel very good, very happy. Recently, a child was referred to me. The only transaction was the school principal said that you have to go and meet the counselor. And the counselor said, you have to change, you have to improve, or you will be thrown out of the school. The message the child got is, I am not complete, I am not enough, I am not likable, I am inadequate person. See the transaction. It was very traumatic. So, a child who is expert in cricket, in football, not interested in academics, fine. It's okay to not to be fine in academics. But the counselor, rather than listening, probably gave a very hard negative message. So, from a big perception with which he had come to the school, becomes small. And the note goes to the family. Again, the transaction between the child and the parents are negative. You are making us shameful now. I am not going to go here to a school and I don't want to be like that. Why others are doing better? Why you are caught? So, my humble request, when you go home, be at peace and think what kind of transactions we are doing with our friends, colleagues, associates, subordinates, superiors, and our own children. As you are seeing the statistics, the highest suicidal rates are amongst the youngsters. And if you see 2020, let us say 2020, India is going to have 70% of the population which is going to be youngsters. And what kind of generation we are doing? What kind of transactions they are getting? They are reading the newspapers, negative news. They go to school, negative news. So each day, are we making the bubble big or bubble small? So, the early childhood trauma. So somewhere, what comes is, they get fed up with life. And we all get stuck up. Some are stuck up in abusive relationship, but they are on the dead end. They don't know whether they want to get out of it or whether they want to stay. Because in spite of having an abusive relationship, they don't get out of it because of the security they want, the monetary security, the identity with the family. So these are very important in Indian society. So they are at a dead end. They are into a cycle living with a husband who is an addict, who is using substances. They know, I see a lot of females coming. Yet, they probably are thinking that things will get better and what if I get out of this abusive relation and start my life again. They want to do it. But the society doesn't allow them to do that. So, we don't say they are under depression, but they have started living a life of monotony and got into inertia. They are not doing anything but just staying the way they are. That is why we call the first stage of the journey of suicide starts. So a monotony affects them. They are not getting a solution to the situation. And we psychiatrists, we keep on saying, yo, you are feeling like that? I am going to prescribe you medicine, antidepressant. I am going to prescribe anxiolytics. Unless and until I change the situation at the home, at the family, at the community, in the society, how the poor lady or the gentleman is going to feel good? Unless and until the situation is changing. So, but there is a hope. There is a hope. She's not depressed, but she has stopped communicating. She has slowly started sulking in, and each day she's becoming smaller and smaller. It's like a bubble, our perception. Someday the husband is not drinking, she feels good. Someday the husband is not hitting, someday the husband is not abusive. Someday they are promoted on the job, the other day they are degraded. Someday they are made redundant. So the perception, but because of the security of the children, security of the wife, security of EMIs, security of money borrowed, they continue even if they don't enjoy the job. They keep in a job where they don't have a passion, but they are stuck up. It is like I'm stuck up on a dead end and there is a vehicle beside me. So neither I can move ahead, neither I can move back, but I'm stuck up. But if such person comes to you, how would my prescribing psychiatrist make a difference in her or his life? Tell me. It cannot make a difference. This is where I want to sensitize the deans, the faculties, the parents, and the counselors in the school. They should understand. We have to go to the root. Now, after they continue to stay, and they say, she's withdrawn, she's not talking, but what? There is no answer. But there is a hope. Someday, better things will start happening. Gujarati માં કહે છે ને, સમય પસાર થશે, સાડી સાતીની પનોતી છે, આ કર, તે કર, various phases. There is an inertia because nobody is there taking active steps to resolve the conflict at the home. So they are in a state of inertia. What we call is that there is a conflict, but inertia, without any action. The conflict is hitting them hard, but then inertia. What can I do? I have children. I have children in Delhi public school. I have to pay their fees. They are going to then after the school, they are going to the tutorial classes because they want to be IIT, IIS. And the child is not inspired, but the parents are pushing. The school is pushing. Now recently, I am a very cunning fellow, very shrewd fellow, let me tell you. I am a SOB, let me tell you. 5th September was Teachers' Day. And you know who all became the teachers? The first rankers, second rankers, third rankers. What is the message you are giving to other children? That you are good for nothing. If I were the principal or director of the school, I would pick up one who is not motivated or inspired into education, doing poor in education. You are going to do maths. And this is what, come to me, I'll explain you what you are going to teach. So, what is the teacher's job is to inspire children and motivate to learn. Once they are motivated, ignited, they will learn on their own. What are the parents doing? Carrot and stick. Putting pressure. Each day, they are making the perception of the child smaller and smaller. And the blaming game starts. I'll give you another example. Recently, the board results were declared. And I was at one of the schools. I go and observe. I walk out in a very normal way and just see. Now, children who score very high, their principal goes and greets them, meets them, sweets are offered, and those poor children who failed, nobody is looking at them. What kind of society we have created? Are they not our children? Just because they fail, they are bad? No. I'm sorry, it's very painful. I'm ashamed that I'm living in a country where such students are neglected. Mind you, this is not a good thing to happen. What school should do is call those who have not done good in the academics, to call them and, okay, it's fine. It's okay to fail in academics. That's not the end of the world. It's not, they should call their parents and tell them, it's okay to fail. I am not okay, you are not okay, and that is okay. But what the parents say, we are okay, you are not okay, and you are making us stupid, look shameless. First thing they asked, what happened? I got 60%. What did your friend get? Or 80%. Negative transaction. Why? Why you have to react? And then what happens is, when the schools, sorry if any deans, principals are teaching, when we take the intake, we take students of the intellectual parents, we do their IQ assessment, and the grooming of the children occurs at two places, in the family, in the society, and in the school. It is a learned behavior. Where does it occur? It occurs either in the school is another home, primary home is the family. When he or she gets a gold medal, who takes the honors? The school. Who takes the pride? The parents and the school. But when he fails, who takes the blame? Tell me, who takes the blame? Who is blamed? Whose perception about self is narrowed down? Audience, I am stunned. Are you not shocked what you are doing? I am angered. Each time I see this happening from year to year, it is disturbing me. I am a painful man today. Wow, what are we doing to our children? Either don't glorify those who are getting ranks. Stop this. Education is not a business. Sorry, sir. I am very sorry. There are certain things. And at any time you feel that I am going off track, kindly stop me. But this is what, I am a clinician basically. I do a lot of research, and I do research at grassroots level. If you will give me 5 minutes to go off track, when I was in Jammu, when the rest of the team would be sleeping, I would sneak out in the night and go and say to a family that I want to stay with you. अरे साहब आप ये हमारे घर में इतने झोपड़े जैसे घर में 8 लोग तो ऐसे ही है, सोने की जगह नहीं है, क्यों रहोगे? तो मुझे रहना है. And then I would eat with them. What I found in Poonj, that lot of teachers from Poonj used to go to the nearby villages, so teachers to teach the school, primary school, secondary school. So what our neighboring friend did is killed all the teachers. So what would happen? The schools would close. And so what would happen? There were a lot of dropouts. Now these dropouts become the people moving around doing nothing to entertain them. So very tactfully, they are inducted into drugs. Once they are inducted, they are exploited, they are raw. It's like a slate. What we write, children will, mind mapping, mind will do whatever is mapped in early childhood and early adolescence. So they catch them young. It is said, catch them young. So they would catch them young, make them dependent on addiction, and then send them to POK. There would be a bargain. Either you die or you take this and continue this behavior. Very interesting, sir. Probably it was not mentioned for some reasons I don't know. So it was my personal experience. And then they would be sent there, brought back, and when our paramilitary forces or the military, when they would shoot the people and they would kill them, वो माता ने मुझे बताया कि मेरा बच्चा टेररिस्ट नहीं था, उसको बनाया गया, और मैंने कभी नहीं बोला कि भारत की सेना हमारे बच्चों को मार रही है. So what they were creating, that Indian army is killing whom? Our own people. So that is the modus operandi. Intelligence misplaced. Intelligence exploited. So if we neglect our own children and give them negative transaction, coming back to the topic, is that never give negative transactions to your children. वो कहते हैं ना संस्कार, संस्कार मतलब हम हमारे बिहेवियर में जो दिखाते हैं, वो आचरण जो हम घर में और स्कूल में टीचर्स करते हैं, वो बच्चे सीखते हैं. और जो हम कहते हैं, because their defiance starts at age of 12 and goes till 16, 18. वो उम्र में आप उनको सलाह, हमारे जमाने में तो साइकिल नहीं थी, ये थी. What you are talking?